Good morning. Welcome to our congregation of New Thought believers. We're happy to see all of you here or there by Zoom. Today, our service will follow our older format because Pam, our director, is not able to be with us here today in the church, so we're going to wing it just a bit. If we're each focused on our own higher self and ready to receive divine inspiration, we'll all be just fine. We have come to know that nothing happens by accident and that all is in divine order. We are not gathered together by accident. We are each part of the divine source energy that manifests as unity on the Eastern Shore, here and now. As we celebrate the gift of life and our unity with all others, we affirm that we are all one. We bless and embrace people of every race, culture, lifestyle, and creed. And we know that the one source, as light and love, expresses equally in every life. We are grateful for the presence of God within each of us and our ever increasing acceptance and expression of the divine truth. If you're a newcomer with us today, we welcome you. We're truly happy that you're here today, and we are blessed by your presence. If you know our first positive affirmation, feel free to recite it with me. We lovingly and gratefully acknowledge the presence of the divine in our midst. Our purpose statement helps explain who we are, why we are here. If you know it, please recite it with me. Our purpose is to foster a new level of spiritual awareness through worship and fellowship, and to lift one another to a Christ-like maturity. And now this is time for some musical inspiration by Jack Fowler. Did they get it going?
The music has failed us, so we'll just carry on without it.
Okay. Each month we affirm one of the 12 powers. The spiritual power for this month is faith, and the color is dark blue. Charles Fillmore, co-founder of Unity, established the 12 spiritual powers that we celebrate all year long. Our positive affirmations help center us in preparation for receiving our Sunday morning inspiration. Please join me in reciting our affirmations once aloud and once in the silence. There is only one presence and one power in my life and in the universe, God the good, omnipotent. Together, we know God blesses all special intentions present in our prayer box, and that God's perfect plan is in action. Together, we are alive, alert, awake, joyous, and enthusiastic about life. The daily word for January 16th is rise. I rise in consciousness to help create a world that works for all. Throughout time, there have been people who led lives that changed the world forever. Their words and deeds provided hope and inspiration for those who would carry forth their legacies of love, growth, and evolution long after they left this life. Their most powerful contribution, however, was their ability to inspire others to express their own divine purpose. As more and more people reach their highest potential, the whole of humanity ascends. Today, I honor those who have led lives of service, striving for love, truth, and justice. I take steps not to commemorate their journeys and contributions, but to embark upon my own. I rise, grateful to contribute all I can to the growth and evolution of humankind. And from Ezra 10:4, take action, for it is your duty, and we are with you. Be strong and do it. Our messenger this morning is Dr. Robert Maldonado, who is a retired military officer, healer, and teacher, dedicated to helping people discover their innate healing abilities while guiding them through life's transitions. His spiritual journey has been about embracing his authentic self with honesty and courage while gaining self-knowledge and spiritual truth through dedicated service. Bob has traveled the world and lived in Venezuela, Peru, and Mexico. He has a passion for discovering beauty and honoring the sacred in all the places and cultures that he has visited. He has a great interest in metaphysics, healing practices, and spirituality, and has authored 5 books on these subjects. Bob holds a PhD in energy medicine from Akami University, specializing in spiritual healing, and he has certifications in energy medicine, healing touch, Brennan healing science, Reiki, shamanism, integral Chinese Qigong, and Tai Chi. Bob is the international coordinator for the Group of 40, a meditation group dedicated to personal and planetary healing. He lives here in Fairhope with his wife, Ellen, and dogs Buddy and Blue, and cats Cassie and Archie. Bob will help us to embrace change in this new year. Bob, please bring us your inspiration. Bob, you're muted.
Okay, can everybody hear me? Okay.
Yes.
All right, great. I apologize for that. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Shirley. And please join me in prayer. O living, infinite God, present in the body of Jesus, manifest yourself in the trueness of your glory, in the sovereign power of your light, and in the omniscience of your wisdom in this upcoming year. Lord, you make all things new. You bring hope alive in our hearts, and you cause our spirits to be born again. Thank you for this new year and for all the potential that it holds. Come and kindle in us a mighty flame, so that in our time, many will see the wonders of God and live forever to praise your glorious name. Amen. Thank you for that introduction, Shirley, and it's good morning to everybody, and I wish everybody a happy new year, and it's sure nice to be back after 2 years. I remember sharing with you about the year 2020 and just how important it was to be in your personal power as you embrace the challenges of the new decade. Well, my message for all of us, and myself included today, is that this still remains true as we face the many challenges ahead in 2022, not just for us on a personal level, but also in the collective, in other words, everywhere around us. It's all about embracing change in the dawn of a new reality. We all know that a lot's happened in our lives in the past 2 years. I think that's a great understatement. Someone once described it as a stumbling into a large blender and tumbling about in a labyrinth of chaotic and shape-shifting realities. It's like being in a perfect storm. And we not only felt that outside of us, it was felt at a very personal level within us. We know that many of you are scared or have been scared by what you're seeing on your planet over the past couple of years. I, for one, was scared for our democracy on January the 6th. having experienced and seen the dire consequences when democracy is lost in my childhood as an expat living overseas, and in the military helping a foreign government deal with an insurgency. I am sure many of you were also scared as the COVID pandemic spread here at home and around the globe. You know, the energy of fear is contagious, and it has been one of the dominant contagions of this last 2 years. And not all of us have been swept up by it, but some of us have been shocked by it, or at least thrown sideways by this new wave on the earth. Well, we can take heart in all of this because the astrology suggests that underneath the current relentless changes and challenges, all these restrictions and the pain, that we are emerging from these past few years and coming back not only restored, but changed forever. We are also bringing back more than we brought before in the form of greater wisdom, resiliency, compassion, empathy, and an increased capacity to understand suffering and going deeper and finding more meaning in our lives in this process. We have all faced many challenges and obstacles. And sadly, for some of us, there's been great loss and grief and much coming to the surface in our lives. Of course, some of it's good and some of it's not so good. And I used to say that the good news is that all of it is good. The bad news is that all of it is good. Before 2020, the question was, how do I change my life? Now the questions are, what do I want from my life? What has meaning for me? How do I avoid going back to a life that just doesn't work for me anymore? The unexpected changes brought about by this pandemic have allowed us to pause and reflect on our lives. That's the good news. That's very important to know. I know, and I've really asked myself many times, what's important for me now? What are my priorities? What gives me greater joy and happiness? For many of us, this inward process has revealed many truths about ourselves, things we probably didn't know about ourselves. Perhaps some of us have found, like I have, a need to be honest and true to ourselves and be seen as who we truly are, no matter how weird or odd or unique, despite what other people think. Now, that's pretty hard, right? It's easier said than done. Perhaps, and I'm saying this, perhaps this is a year about bringing forth more of our true nature in our lives and honoring this and the process. I also shared that in this new decade, we would be evolving towards more equality, peace, and balance. It would be cooperation, not control, reconciliation, not separateness. And we would be bringing in a new energy of the divine feminine. Some of you may be saying it's about time. And that's where we're headed. Make no mistake, but the journey is going to be very challenging. We are facing a completely new evolutionary trajectory for the years 2022 through 2024. These are going to be quantum leap years. When I say quantum, we're going to talk about an acceleration here, where consciousness is going to accelerate very rapidly. It's like riding a wave. We want to be on that wave. And this would be a good New Year's resolution for all of us, is to ride the wave of higher consciousness. The year 2022 will be a wild ride, and you're probably saying, oh, another one, right? 2020 and 2021 were wild. Now we have another one coming. Well, 2022 is going to be unlike any other year that the earth has seen, because it's going to bring about a propulsive energy of change. But along with it, and this is important, a lot of love, support, and grace, despite all the movements and all the things that are going to happen. And what's really important is that this is not about stagnation, or going back to the way things were before. That's not going to happen. I'm not sure we want to go back to the things the way they were before anyway. Instead, in 2022, will be one of the most powerful catalysts for change ever. And we're just going to have to embrace this change going forward as if our lives really depended on it. And I would like to say that after 2 years of what we've been through, I think we can handle that. There used to be a saying, God does not give you anything you can't handle. Well, guess what? We're going to be able to handle this, no problem. It's just going to be it's going to be tough. It's going to be a challenge. Let me also say this, and this is taking a higher perspective, instead of being on the first floor of the building, I'm on the 20th floor. And that is that this is an epic time that we're all living in. Think about it. We really have to take some time and step back and say, and honor ourselves for showing up for this big drama that we're facing. Every 2,000 years, we birth a new age. We're doing this right now in transition. And this is huge as we enter the age of Aquarius. The previous one, Pisces, was all about amnesia, duality, separation, and conflict. I am here and God or spirit is there. In this new age, we are going to experience and see connection, harmony, and we are going to become closer to spirit if we're not there already, much closer. It almost feels like a collective initiation into a brand new era. It's like the mask is coming off in 2020 and 2021, and we are now in a birth canal, remembering who we are, and we're going to be birthing a new us or a new you in 2022. The rebirth of 2022 will be about understanding this and expanding your ability to deepen into who you are and why you're here. The challenge for us in the new year is going to be asking this question, and this is something I've had to think about a little bit. How do we dance with divinity, I'll call it with spirit, and bring us back to unity after 2,000 years? How do we dance with divinity and bring us back to unity after 2,000 years after the previous cycle? This is huge, and it requires a huge integration of our minds and spirit, and it requires a new awareness on our part as to what we're doing and why we're here and our purpose. And yet you always knew, and this is what's interesting to me, at the soul level, that these were the times that we were here, we were planning to be here. These are the times that we were incarnating for. And these were times of major significant transformation in the Earth's history. The ending of the old cycle and the birthing of a new cycle and the birthing of a new human. You know, it's interesting how many souls you think are out there waiting to come in at this time. And here we are, the biggest show in the galaxy, right here. For some of us, of course, that may have a different opinion, like I don't want to be here anymore. But this is the biggest show around. In 2020, we awoke to a new reality. In 2021, we adjusted to this new reality. In 2022, we're going to be transforming our reality into a newer consciousness. And this is going to be really neat. It's really going to involve embodying our sweet self, the spiritual aspect of who we are, the greater part of who we are. We're going to become more global, galactic, and making more contributions to the galactic whole. We're going to be connecting with our galactic heritage as star seeds. We're star seeds. We came from the stars. I know this kind of hits hard in most of the religions out there, but this is where we are. We come from the universe. We come from the stars. And science has already shown that. We're all stardust. The new Webb telescope that was launched recently, I think it was last month, is going to tell us a lot about our origins and who our brothers and sisters are in the galaxy. Remember, NASA, what's NASA's primary mission? Not to send shuttles up into space. NASA's primary mission, or go to Mars or Moon, is to find extraterrestrial life. Make contact, first contact. Scientists are saying it's going to happen this year. One major theme for 2022 is going to also be that this is going to be a year of higher spiritual power and work. And by that, I mean that under the spiritual laws of polarization and manifestation, what you focus on in a polarized situation manifests more directly and quickly. I think we all know that. Our thoughts are very, very powerful. If you focus on lower vibrations during this time, like materialism, control, and power, you're going to experience the karmic effect of all that. However, if you focus on spirituality and positive things, you're going to find the true acceleration of your spiritual work and progress. As I mentioned, I would not be surprised that in 2022, you're going to see proof that the higher realms exist and that they interact with this dimension. And this is going to be a major breakthrough in spiritual development and understanding. Finally, I'd like to conclude by just sharing a few more specific and practical insights into 2022. And 2022 is going to be a year for you to acknowledge your spiritual power and ability to influence the outcome of events in your life. And you've heard this statement before. Life doesn't happen to you, you make life happen, right? We are very powerful. We're co-creators of our reality. You are powerful beyond measure, not powerless. As an observer, this is what quantum physics tells us, that as an observer, you have an influence over the events around you. One of the greatest discoveries was that the observer can influence the outcome of the experiment. As observers who affects the outcome of next year, what do you want to see? Your thoughts of what you would like to create and see are going to manifest. Here's what I would like to see. I would like to see less polarization and a more unified and harmonic approach to global issues based on the needs of all, brotherhood and sisterhood and mutual respect and cooperation. Boy, what a theme that is. How about countries working together for global peace and resolving the climate crisis? I would like to see greater efforts, greater awareness, maybe more heart in humanity to clean up the environment and stop what I call the sixth mass extinction. I'd like to see the elimination of COVID and new treatments that are safer and more effective. And my own personal wishes is more love, harmony, unity, consciousness in a future earth and a just society. And you can throw in your own. But what I do is I think of these things all the time, and I know they're going to manifest. That's the reality I want to create. And hopefully that's the reality that most of us want to create. The second thing I think is important is trust your heart, your heart's knowingness, your intuition, trusting your internal guidance system. This is going to be really, really important this year as we move into this extremely transformational time in 2022. Third, the year 2022, and especially this month, is going to be a time for us to go in, clear out what no longer serves you, create space for what resonates for you. You're creating and finding moments of clarity. Step back and just go inward and work with your higher self. This next one is very important. And I know that all of you in this forum have some sort of a regular spiritual practice. Make it the most important part, or one of the most important parts of your life. That could be something as simple as going to a retreat, meditation practice, or a spiritual training to deepen your connection with spirit. At a practical level, it could mean something like putting away your phone and going for a walk, turning off the TV and sitting outside in your garden, wrapped in a warm blanket, going to sleep early, resting your mind, and just following your intuitive guidance. But what's important here is that you find some way of connecting with spirit and connecting with the deeper aspects of yourself. Now, this one is personally one of the most important for me. We are facing an enormous challenge ahead as a species with our climate crisis. And some of the people are calling this the sixth mass extinction. We've had 5 previous ones. And by the way, the 5 previous ones, the Earth survived. This is the first one where humanity is causing the extinction. And the earth will survive. The question is, will we survive? Some people are calling this ecocide or ecological suicide. We must bring, in my opinion, the heart back to humanity and understand the truth about the spirit of Mother Earth, Gaia, and that we can communicate with the Mother Earth telepathically, and that she responds to the energy of love that emanates from our heart chakra. The energy of love is needed now. And the natives, the First Nations people knew this. They knew the heart of the mother, and they knew how to connect and talk. We need to get back to that in a big way soon. This is the understanding that Gaia, or Mother Earth, the planet, is a sentient living being that has a nervous system like we do. We call it the biofeedback system that manifests in other ways, but she's out of balance. And we have to show honor and believe and respect to her. Awakening to this truth, I think, is the key to healing this planet during this crisis. So what I'm getting at is we probably would benefit from creating a small practice to communicate with her in meditation, prayer. Some of us do our gardening, we walk in nature, supporting the climate cause, whatever you want to do. It could be, as I do in the morning, is I just acknowledge her. Gaia, I acknowledge you as a sentient being, and I am a planetary healer here to bring you back into balance. Or you can add your own words. Predictions are, not me, but the predictions, the experts out there are saying radical climate change is going to be the biggest concern in 2022. And it's not going to be the pandemic. That's going to take a back seat. And it makes sense. Look at all the climate issues we're dealing with right now. Every day we're dealing with it. Fires, we're dealing with the ice storms, we're dealing with the jet stream, we're dealing with the hurricanes, the intensity of storms, you name it, it's out there. So this is very important. I just recommend it this year. And by the way, when you connect with the Earth Mother in your own way, you feel better. It's hard to explain. You feel better. Never before has there been a need than in 2022 to keep your spiritual focus and connect with your brothers and sisters in unity, mutual support, and fellowship. So this is meaning that you need and most of you do, you need a support network. This time, a spiritual group like we have here in Unity Spiritual Eastern Shore, and any other groups of like-minded communities. Really, I know it's hard to do in this pandemic situation, but Zoom and using other media to stay connected is so important right now with like-minded souls, because we need each other. And by the way I see us moving forward in this right now in these challenging times is with group consciousness. In other words, meditating together, being with a group consciousness, mutually supporting one another, and the coherency and the effect of the group energy is exponential. You can quantumly manifest things because it's such a strong energy when you get to, as Jesus used to say, when two or more are gathered in my name, I'm there. You can't get any better than that. Another thing we need to do this year is we need to take care of ourselves first. I know this is a major paradigm shift because part of our conditioning in our culture is to take care of others first, right? We get burned out. The energy coming in this year is saying that you are the most important person in the world. Taking care of yourself first comes from a position of strength and clarity, whereupon assistance to others flows from your love. Love your neighbor as thyself. Love yourself. The more you love yourself and accept yourself, the more love you can give. The highest level of consciousness corresponds to owning your power and not giving it away in exchange for anything. And I wrote down here, forget what other people think about you, right? That's not important. We as you get older, it becomes less important. But that's something, do things, be honest with yourself. And like I said, do things for yourself first. Make yourself happy, and then that happiness is going to expand out to others. And then finally, practice deep gratitude. The frequency of deep gratitude is being in the heart and allowing yourself to open to areas you could not imagine. It's a place of higher creativity and service. In fact, it's a place where you're going to find spirit. You know, it could be a matter of just getting up in the morning and like I do a gratitude journal, or name 3 things you're grateful for. Or, you know, if you've had an illness, it's gratitude for still being around. You know, I have a joke. I have an uncle who I ask him, he's a comedian. I ask him what, you know, how he's doing. He says, I'm doing great. He says, I get up in the morning and I reach out, put my hands out. If I'm not touching wood, I know I'm doing good. And that's his way of saying life's good. So in conclusion, let us embrace the challenges and opportunities of this new year. This is exciting. And being in our personal power and attracting and holding our 5th dimensional light in our beautiful hearts. This higher dimensional light is so important, bringing this higher dimensional light into our hearts. I wish all of you much success and prosperity in your life journey this year. And I would like to leave you with a beautiful saying from a Hopi elder, which I would like to share. And it's titled, We Are the Ones We've Been Waiting For. You have been telling people that this is the 11th hour. Now you must go back and tell the people that this is the hour. These things are to be considered. Where are you living? What are you doing? What are your relationships? Are you in right relation? Where is your water? Know your garden. It is time to speak your truth. Create your community. Be good to each other. And do not look outside yourself for your leader. Then he clasped his hands together, smiled, and said, this could be a good time. There's a river flowing now very fast. It is so great and swift that there are those who will be afraid. They will try to hold on to the shore. They will feel they are being torn apart, and they will suffer greatly. Know that this river has its destination. The elders say that we must let go of the shore, push off into the middle of the river, keep our eyes open and our heads above the water. And I say, see who is in there with you and celebrate. At this time in history, we are to take nothing personally, least of all ourselves. For the moment that we do, our spiritual growth and journey will come to a halt. The time of the lone wolf is over. Gather yourselves. Banish the word struggle from your attitude and your vocabulary. All that we do now must be done in a sacred manner and in celebration. We are the ones that we have been waiting for. And now we will be doing a meditation. And I'm going to invite all of you to close your eyes. And with your eyes closed, become aware of your breathing. Don't change the breath in any way, but just become aware of it and feel your inhales and your exhales. And now, finding a rhythm of breathing that's comfortable to you, begin to breathe in gentle inhales and exhales, letting each inhale and exhale become more relaxed than before. Now, become aware of your heart chakra located beneath your sternum. And really feel unconditional love in your heart. You may have to think of somebody in your family or an animal or somewhere in some of us to find that unconditional love, but really feel it in your heart. Now, when you are ready, on the next inhale, breathe in the earth energies from below into your heart chakra. Holding your breath momentarily, and then as you exhale, letting that unconditional love from your heart flow into the cells, the organs, and the bones of your body, and really feel this. On the next inhale, visualize this time a bright stream of loving celestial energy coming from above through your crown chakra on the top of your head and into your heart. Holding it momentarily and then exhaling the unconditional love from the heart into the cells, the organs, and into the bones of your body. Again, really, really feel that. On the next inhale, visualize that bright, loving energy is being drawn from the earth below and from the celestial above in a simultaneous flow of energy into your heart, filling it. And as you exhale, feel that loving energy leaving the heart and going into your body. Again, as you inhale, visualize that bright, loving energy is being drawn from the earth below and the celestial above, simultaneously flowing in a combined stream into your heart, filling it. And as you exhale, this time feel the loving energy leaving your heart and going into everyone present in the room and on this Zoom. Really feel that energy going out. And now we are going to call in 2022. Imagine a circle and imagine yourself inside this circle and everyone in this congregation holding this space for you. A circle of light surrounds you. And just for a moment, breathe into that. Feel that. Circle of light is surrounding you. Now call in everything that you hope to create in your life in 2022. You are a powerful creator in your life, and you can create anything and any changes that you want. Imagine for a moment that there aren't any barriers. You are the magician, and your fingers are the wands. Imagine, as an example, stability, abundance, roundedness, maybe the earth beneath you, filling you. You may imagine, for instance, your natural settings that you love, your home, the oceans or mountains, fields or forests. Feel whatever comes for you. Imagine whatever comes up for you. See all forms of abundance, maybe. And just feel whatever it is, feel that space. I like to imagine a happy and healthy home. Relationships, creativity, prosperity, love. Maybe you see yourself doing the work you're meant to be doing and finding whatever you want in whatever form it takes. See all your dreams and goals manifesting and coming true and to fruition. Let's just go into meditation for a moment as we do this. Say to yourself these words. I am that I am. I am that I am. I love myself and everything that I am doing in my life now. 2022 will be a great and blessed year for me. And now let us spend a few moments in silence with our one true source, your creator, the beloved Lord Jesus, as we rest in his perfect love, his unquestioning love, and all powerful love. And now when everybody's ready, you can slowly return into the here and now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bob, for bringing us your wonderful inspiration. I look forward to a year filled with mutual respect and cooperation, with harmony and unity as we work with our higher selves. This is the time that we give our love offerings. We acknowledge our abundance and share our blessings. If you would like to gift Unity on the Eastern Shore, our mailing address is 776 Post Office Box 776, Fairhope, Alabama 36533. We affirm that every good thing comes from God, and we are humbled by our abundance. For now, please hold your gift in your hands while we recite together the Prosperity Affirmation. Together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I give, all that I have, and all that I receive. Father, we know that all gifts come from you. We give thanks for all our blessings and lovingly return a portion of them to your service. We take a moment now, along with silent unity, to each pray in our own way. Amen. If you have prayer requests, please send them as well to Box 776, Fairhope, Alabama. And we'll affirm with you that God's plan for you is in action. Then we'll forward your request to Unity Village, Missouri, to be prayed over by Silent Unity. We'll not read your prayer requests. They're kept confidential. It's time for our closing prayer, the prayer for protection. So if you know it, please recite it with me. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, for we are one. And I guess we won't have the peace song today, but I happen to have a hymnal here. And I will read the words so you can think about the melody as I read the words. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as our Father, brothers all are we. Let me walk with my brothers in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. There's the music. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow, to take each moment and live each moment